Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to this. Isn't this a great day to be in Washington, D.C.? I know it's Monday. Come on, isn't this a great day to be in Washington and also in Ward 5? My name is Anthony Hood, lifelong resident of Ward 5. I have been given the awesome opportunity to be able to introduce the mayor of her hometown, the Honorable Mayor, Muriel Bowser, the illustrious, capable, and able Mayor, Muriel Bowser. Bring him to the podium.
Thank you. Well, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Well, good morning, everybody. It's beautiful. It is indeed a beautiful day in Washington, D.C., and we're in the beautiful Langdon Park Recreation Center, also known as Chuck Brown Park. So let's hear for Chuck Brown Park, DPR, Director Freeman, and all of our great personnel at DPR who make this park available to all D.C. residents and keep it beautiful. And we're here to talk about an exciting project that we've been talking about for some time, and indeed one that I've been involved in since I was a council member. We are talking about the district's first P3 project, and that project will allow us to replace, upgrade, and make more efficient the entire street light network of Washington, D.C., and that's 75,000 lights. We thought it would be a great daylight savings time reminder to talk about these lights. If you haven't turned your clocks back, you're probably early or late for something. And to that end, we remind everybody that it's getting darker earlier. Be mindful for people walking, getting off of buses, crossing streets. Slow down as always, and be mindful of how you are getting around in the city. So some of you know the history of this project, and it started with my introduction of the Public-Private Partnership Act of 2013, and the goal was to give the district a better and more cost-effective way to fund large-scale projects. I think at the time I made this introduction, we were trying to figure out billions of dollars worth of investment in our DC water projects, billions of dollars that Metro would need, many millions of dollars that we need in our own infrastructures of roads, streets, alleys, and lights. We recognize that these big projects, we had to be creative about how we got them funded so that we can do them all. I'm frequently heard saying that in big cities, we have to do it all, and we have to do it all at once. So that's schools, that's infrastructure, that's recreation, that's sports, you name it. We have to do it all. And these creative financing tools help us do that. So now 10 years after I introduced that legislation and shepherded it through the council, we see firsthand what it means for the city. Work is underway to convert every single street light to one that is less expensive and more efficient. And as of this month, we are 50% through the project. We have successfully modernized nearly 40,000 street lights in DC. So let's give a big round of applause to our partner in this work, Plenary Infrastructure DC. Last year, we entered into a $309 million contract with Plenary Infrastructure DC to deliver this project, which is supported with $160 million financed through the DC Revenue Bond Program. Plenary Infrastructure DC is financing the project costs, which is allowing the district to get this done in 2 years. I also want to recognize that the district team making this happen is represented here. I want to acknowledge Deputy Mayor for Operations and Infrastructure, Keith Anderson. Thank you, Keith. The Interim Director for DDOT. This is a huge project for DDOT. Interim Director Sharon Kirschbaum. Please give Sharon and the entire team a big round of applause, as well as our big deal team who oversees P3s at the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. This has got to be a good sign or something. Wow. So we also know that a lot of our own facilities will be supported by these new lights, including our Department of Parks and Recreation facilities. And so that's one reason why we're here today. We want to acknowledge that the last time we talked about this project, it was during Infrastructure Week with the Biden administration in 2022. We were celebrating a number of projects made possible through President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law. I'm pleased to be able to say that since the bipartisan infrastructure law was signed 2 years ago, district agencies have been working diligently to get even more infrastructure dollars for DC. In fact, we have submitted 50 applications and requested more than $1.5 billion in funding. That's good. We've already secured 10 grants with 12 more under consideration. And through these efforts, we've been awarded $132 million for projects, including the South Capitol Street Trail, clean energy buses, and brownfields cleanups, and more. So with that, just know that we're always working on the projects that will enable us to be a greener city, a safer city, and a city that puts more DC businesses and DC residents to work. So with that, I want to ask Director Kirschbaum to come up to say a few words, and she will be followed by Director Thanie Freeman.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sharon Kirschbaum, Interim Director of the District Department of Transportation, and thank you all for joining us as we celebrate meeting the 50% mark in our LED streetlight conversion. Mayor Bowser, thank you for your vision and support of this project. Over 10 years ago, you knew that the Public-Private Partnership Act would provide a framework for agencies like DDOT to take on meaningful mega projects that will benefit the district for generations. And here we are today, celebrating the successful transition of nearly 40,000 streetlights to LED bulbs that are more energy efficient and better for residents and the environment. I also want to thank our DDOT street lighting team, our partners of Plenary Infrastructure DC, Federal Highway Administration for their funding, and all for their leadership and support on this important project. Through your diligence, we are halfway to our goal of the successful transition of 75,000 lights, and we are on track to deliver by May 2024. Yay! At DDOT, we are excited about infrastructure, and as you may have picked up by now from today's crowd, we are very excited about streetlights. But we also recognize that streetlights represent more than a basic city service. We believe that streetlights represent a community connection and a commitment from local government to its residents. Better lighting is a simple yet effective means to foster a sense of security, promote outdoor activities, and showcase our magnificent neighborhoods and business corridors. And with our LED streetlight conversion, we are also delivering to residents a system that is remotely monitored to give everyone the peace of mind in knowing that if a light goes out, DDOT is on the way. Our new platform alerts the agency when a light is out or malfunctioning, allowing DDOT to deploy a service team to make the necessary adjustments. And when necessary, the same system allows DDOT to remotely increase or decrease lighting in response to on-the-ground conditions like a critical response or special event. Our new network is also delivering environmental benefits that we can't overlook. This LED technology reduces energy consumption and minimizes light pollution, a necessary benefit we can all get excited about. Building a lighting network for the next generation is a formidable task, and we didn't do it alone. Over the past year, we've met with various community partners and ANCs, gathering feedback about the project and our work plan. We even formed a streetlight advisory panel to ensure we continue to pursue stakeholder engagement through site visits and public meetings. Thank you all for your tremendous support of this initiative and your feedback, which keeps us on track and solutions focused. As we continue toward 100% conversion, we are excited about our work and our progress. We are building lighting network that is smart and connected, just like our residents. Better lighting is not just about brighter streets, it's about a brighter future for our city, and we at DDOT are happy to light the way. Thank you. And I am so pleased to introduce my colleague, Feeny Freeman, Acting Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are so excited to have all of you here at the beautiful Langdon Park. Langdon Park is absolutely beautiful. It is the home to the Chuck Brown Amphitheater, which we're standing at. You see the memorial here. It is a sportsplex. If you have not been inside, we've converted it to a gymnastics arena. We have everything here from basketball to bats to owls, the butterfly that you saw, and I'm convinced that Franklin was trying to make his way, the bear was trying to come visit us here at Langdon Park. So thank you so much, Director Kirschbaum. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for all of your investments. This is important because investments in our public infrastructure make our neighborhoods safer and stronger, and the streetlight system will be more efficient. With so many activities taking place during evening hours at our recreation centers and throughout our world-class city, the impact of this project will be felt by all patrons, workers, and small businesses who operate at night. Most importantly, DPR holds a lot of programs at night. We engage residents under these streetlights. We own the night. And literally with this project, we can light it up. Just last week, we opened registration. Yeah, y'all like that? We can light it up. Just last week, we opened registration for our winter programs, which I invite you all to check out at dprprograms.com. Check out our basketball offerings. We're starting at 6U, going all the way up to teenagers. If you don't know, many of our youth are being recruited by the local high schools because they're just that great. They're starting, they're learning, they're receiving mentorships at our recreation centers. We are engaging youth during out-of-school time programs, partnering with DME, DCPS, and OSSI for our Winter Wonder Camp. When DCPS is on winter break, we will have teen break time. We have Young Ladies on the Rise and Supreme Teens. These all occur throughout the school year. And we cannot forget our DPR Roving Leaders, which is our mobile recreation and intervention program, who are offering great programs like Girls Who Code and Little Chefs University and our Art Escape. For those who may be interested in traditional athletics, who may not be interested in traditional athletics, our arts and culture programs are absolutely amazing. We have a ballet program, we have piano, we have drawing, we have painting, and we have sewing. Right here at Langdon, again, we've created a sports complex, activating the site indoors and outdoors with all of the activities. Co-ed sports, this is the home to our women and girls sports program. And we have a national cheer, a national champion competition cheer program right here at Langdon. Give it up. On any given night, you may see programs like our senior chair or our senior yoga program, our Zumba. In the warm month, you'll see kickball, jump rope if you don't know how to jump rope, or double dutch. The mayor can teach you. She's really good at it. But we have all sorts of activations from tennis and a senior walking club. I have to take a pause and invite you all to our pickleball summit on November 15th. Yes, we have that as well. As we know, many people who registered and will register for these programs will walk to and from our centers, and we are excited that this new lighting and increased visibility will help make their journey safer. As we are starting the process for a $31 million modernization of this facility right here, We've met with the residents, and we're excited about the investments in our communities and look forward to offering a safe, family-friendly recreation opportunities for all. And with that, I'd like to introduce Sia Kusha, Group Head of Business Development and Partnering for Plenary Americas.
Good morning, and thank you. Mayor Bowser, Director Kirschbaum, Director Freeman. It gives me absolute great pleasure to be here on behalf of Plenary Americas and our team, who's all around us, to share with you this wonderful milestone. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to introduce some of the members of the team that are here. We at Plenary are the lead developer, lead investor, and ultimately lead responsible for this project, not only during design and construction, but for the period of operations and maintenance. We have today with us our equity partners with Plenary Phoenix Infrastructure. We also have members of our team, Indigo, here in town, DCI, Angie Services, TBNA, Equans, Fort Myers Construction, VHB, and many, many others who are participate in this program as a part of our subcontracting and subconsultancies. A lot has been said about the project, and I'm pretty sure the mayor and the rest of the team here would be more than happy to answer any specific technical questions you might have in terms of progress of the project and when we expect to be done with it. There are plenty of posters around that you can take time at your leisure and look at them. I want to concentrate on two key elements with respect to this particular program. First is our commitment to the local team. And second is really the team's mission as to what we are doing within the community and how we see the community as our partners, not only today, but also for the next 10, 15, 20 years as we go forward. The second part that I want to concentrate on really has to do with the fact that the replacement and upgrading and modernization of the street lighting is not the end, is really the beginning. Mayor Bowser, back in the day when she introduced the P3 Act as a council member, never gave up. There were plenty of times, there were plenty of naysayers, but her leadership, her vision got us to where we are today. And again, she is not done. She's thinking through how do we use this particular infrastructure to add to broadband capabilities across the entire district. She's looking at this infrastructure as the basis for potentially augmenting the EV charging across all the streets and all the back alleys in the district, and using the NEVI funding that the district has already obtained from the federal government to actually supplement and augment all of that. Madam Mayor, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful and pathfinding project. And if I may ask you to come back up to answer some questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I usually hand off all the tough questions. But are we watching a video? Yes? No? No video. Okay. So with that, are there any questions? Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Press questions. Yes.
How does this differ from the constant maintenance that you have to do to lighting around the district?
That's a great question. And I'm going to ask Sharon to come up and talk about it more specifically. But part of what this allows us to do is have a more central look at the lights, as you heard Sharon talk about, including when they're out. Right, Sharon? Yes. So you know what happens now if a light is out? It just stays out until somebody calls us and tells us it's out. And so this new infrastructure promises to allow us to keep a better eye on that. But let me have Director Kirschbaum say that.
Thank you. So in terms of maintenance in general, the LED lights are going to last longer, but the key fix for us is that we'll know immediately when there's an outage or something's down. And sometimes we're dependent on 311 currently, and it could last weeks before we actually get alerted to it. When we get the alert, we actually have a commitment from our vendor to go out within 24 hours if it's on on the weekday or 48 hours on the weekend to repair it. And if it's a really serious hazardous condition, within 4 hours. So we are hoping that the 311 option for streetlights becomes obsolete, because we'll know before anyone else.
Questions? Mark?
Somebody talk about, and I think the gentleman briefly mentioned it, but the assets that these lights posts present to the city as far as the opportunity for Wi-Fi and charging stations. And I believe, and I just want to make sure I'm right, I heard that the number is 75,000. Is that 75,000 of these light posts that could be used for a range of different things other than just providing light?
Thank you for the question. The infrastructure probably could be used for Wi-Fi, and that was part of the original plan, although it's now, Wi-Fi is really being rolled out as a separate work stream. On the EV charging, the current infrastructure does not allow for on-street EV charging the way we have it established now. Our NEVI plan is going to build a corridor primarily within sort of private sector areas where we'll have fast charging. We think that's really the direction we want to invest in, versus a light pole that has a very, very low amount of energy that's flowing.
Other questions? Yes.
Good morning. Has the district seen any kind of connection between the installation of these new lights and new infrastructure across the city and a reduction in crime or a deterrence in crime in those areas now that they're seeing better lighting? Is that something you're seeing?
I don't know that we have done a straight line analysis between new lights and any crime trends, but I think it's a generally accepted principle that better lit in areas are safer. And so we stay very focused on making sure that we keep the lights in good working order, that they're bright, and that they can be properly maintained. Yes?
And in terms of buy-in from residents, I know in some neighborhoods there's always concern about the level of brightness. We all want bright lights, but you don't want them shining into your windows, et cetera. How much back and forth did you have with neighborhoods on making sure that these would be both effective but also not a detriment as far as residents are concerned?
And I appreciate that question. I'll ask Sharon to think about it. I'm not sure if it showed on the screen, but I do want to say where we've been working and what else we have to do by ward. So the ward with the highest completion rate at this point is Ward 7. Where more than 10,000 lights have been replaced, and they're 84% complete, followed by Ward 5, where it's 80% complete, followed by Ward 8, where it's 71% complete. Wards 3 and 4 are 64% complete, and Wards 1 and 2 are where we have the most work remaining. So that just gives you a sense of some of the work that has been done. And it's true, there are people who are listening to your question right now and saying, who wouldn't want brighter lights? So it is a question that sometimes varies from neighborhood to neighborhood. And I know DDOT has spent some time working with ANCs on that question. Sharon, do you have anything to add to that? So these lights can be moderated, and even the warmness or coolness, is that right? We only have warm. So the technology has improved. I think when we started talking about this, there was kind of one level, and that was bright. And part of the feedback we got through this contracting process was to allow us to moderate it, and it's a warm light rather than a cool light. Okay, I'll take a couple more. Yep.
Any reaction to the arrest and subsequent dropping of charges against Assistant City Administrator Chris Rodriguez? Is he still on administrative leave today?
Yes, Chris is on. Director Rodriguez is on administrative leave. I'm sure you can imagine it's not much that I can say about it other than our internal processes will kick in about the review of that incident. Any more press questions? Yes.
Mayor, thanks for your time. Also an off-topic question. Has your office already been briefed about the 14-year-old who was killed in Northwest DC, Nico Estep? Any comment on that?
I don't have any comment, nor have I been briefed on it as yet. Yes.
If I could go back to Dr. Rodriguez, have you read the police report and his wife's request for a temporary protection order, which I realize she filed a later document having it dismissed, but nonetheless, the narrative of what happened on several incidents between the two of them, which is all public record, paints a narrative of several violent incidents and behavior that I'm wondering, do you condone? I mean, I'm just wondering if you've read all this documentation that's public record in the temporary protection order and the police account of what happened and what's been happening, and if you think that that's somebody who you can still keep in your cabinet.
I'm aware of a police report and that TRO has been filed. I've been briefed on the police report. And I'm not going to comment any further on it.
Well, Mayor Bowser, if you've read the TPO, then you know...
I didn't say I've read the TPO.
Okay, but even the police report paints a picture of a violent incident. And that, do you not believe the police report?
Mark, I'm not going to comment on anything related to the facts of what happened, the dropping of the charges, whether the TPO has been dismissed. What I have said is that we will have an internal process, and that's underway. Both the director is entitled to a due process, and I believe that his family, whether you believe it or not, this will be our approach, is entitled to privacy. There are children involved. Yes.
Yes, I'm Dolores Bushong, and I was on the Streetlight Advisory Panel, and I'm thankful that that was set up. So thank you for that. But I do have a question, because one of the things that we had access to before this conversion was that any member of the public could go online and see the data and see what the luminaires were giving out. In other words, I could tell it was 100 HPS. But now that we've moved to this, that's been cut off. And we thought really hard with the Streetlight Advisory Panel to have access to that data. And now we don't know. I've read the contract many, many times, including last night, because I was coming here today. So my question is, why was information that was available to the public prior to the LED conversion, why is that now being denied to us when that was under, Mary Che and Dorm Show? That was a long time ago. So we had it under Jeff Meridian, and now we don't. And that's something, as one of the people who's worked since 2016 trying to get good lighting, we need that information, and why is it not transparent?
Okay, ma'am, I wasn't familiar with that. So you're saying there was a promise that the new system would show each light's, I don't know all the terminology,
yes.
But okay.
Yeah, that's on the data. It's on the database, and we always had access to that. So I could see.
For the new system?
No.
For the old system, the old lighting system.
Why are we now being denied access to information
okay.
that we previously
Let me ask Director Kirschbaum to respond.
Hi, and thank you for your question and your support of the program. Yes, we do plan to have similar information available during the installation period and while we're doing the conversion. This is just a temporary thing, but once we're up and running, you'll see the same level of information.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We appreciate you.